So thanks again. I'm pretty humbled to be at this meeting, at this event, and I thank the Swiss Chamber of Commerce for inviting us to be here. I'm also humbled to be here in this panel with Dr. Cordiali. I think he did a great job with all the investment-related concepts that I have been working for many years. What I would like to do is to give you 3 basic concepts that that we'll discuss. First of all is why philanthropy in our lives. When we talk about philanthropy, many things come to our mind. I would like to say why philanthropy is important in our lives. What is philanthropy? Many people is not really aware what philanthropy is and how it can be expressed with art. And to tell you a little bit about my background, I'm an economist, and I started early in my career dealing with money matters, because when I was a child, I sold one of my toys to my neighbor, and my mother came to my house saying, "You have to return the money and get your toy back. It's not yours. You are in its possession, but it's not yours." And I started to realize that some things that I have, even though are in my possession and are not mine. So there was a big learning that I got early in my career. Then after I completed my first year in college, I was invited to work at a large group of companies that I worked for 13 years. It was a group of family companies, and we celebrated the 50th anniversary of this group of companies that used to generate 11,000 employees. And the founder established this group of companies in 50 years. 10 years after he passed away, any of the corporations were owned by the families. So most of the companies were either bankrupt or had to be sold to cover financial needs of the families. And what amazed me is that he also started different foundations, and those foundations were actually in place and in force, generating a lot of employment, while the companies were not. So I started to figure out what is that happened. What was the culture that was behind these institutions? And there was a lot of passion in these institutions. So he was highly engaged and with a passion for horses, cars, art, building facilities for the benefits of the employees, and health. The foundations he started included a university, an art gallery, a low-income housing finance corporation, a children's hospital, and a transportation museum. None of the family members are working today for any of the companies that he established. Many of the family members are working today for the non-profit organizations he established. So this was really a legacy, was in the non-for-profit world more than in the corporation world. My experience of working with this family is that generosity could lead to a long-lasting wealth available for many generations. After that experience, I became a financial planner and a financial advisor, and I have been for over 30 years helping people to make decisions what to do with their money, buy art, buy stocks, buy bonds, or just keep it in the savings account. I left the management position last year, where I used to work for over 20 years as a financial advisor and a vice president, also leading financial advising, how I educate people about financial decisions. Related to that awareness that I had about philanthropy, in 2010, with my lovely wife and a group of fantastic individuals here in Miami, we created Philanthropy Is. And Philanthropy Is a non-for-profit organization that educates, connects, and inspires, and recognizes philanthropy in the Latin community here in South Florida. I have to thank our board members, Elizabeth and Deborah, who kindly suggested my name to be here tonight. And I should say that most people think about philanthropy in terms of money. And I should say that philanthropy is about the passion. Viktor Frankl, who survived a concentration camp, wrote that to have meaning in our lives, we have to identify our purpose in life, to feel very positive about living. And you can think that kind of conclusion after somebody who spent some time in a concentration camp. Art is created by an artist that has a passion. And the passion of the artist is always to share what the artist sees and feels about something in his world, or her world. In many, to share that passion will make that somebody will buy a piece of art. It doesn't matter the price. I just love that piece. It's about the passion. It's about the passion. An emerging artist can be exposed to galleries and art fairs because somebody shares the passion of the artist. I would like to share that the etymology of philanthropy in the original Greek means philos anthropos. That means love of my fellow man. And this love or passion can be given or expressed with time, talent, or money. The Nobel Peace Prize awardee, Mother Teresa, used to say, it's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. How much of passion we put into giving. So even though philanthropy is usually associated with money, and I will cover some of it, it gets to its full expression when we give with passion. Therefore, sometimes by giving time, talent, or money, you have something that fulfills your life. James Hughes, on his book, Private Wealth, talks about philanthropy as a way to create family values. And we're sharing the glory that's so important, right? He says that when you hear about the Rockefellers, the Fords, or the Mellons, he wasn't impressed to talk about family members who were amazed with the extraordinary work done by their ancestors regarding philanthropy. In my own experience, one of the most exciting teachings I had is that you think of the amount of money you need to keep your lifestyle. Maybe you're not as creative. But if you think about the amount of money you can generate in value for the benefit of others, your talents might be explode in a different way. And to tell you a little bit about how you can see philanthropy in the arts, I would say that in most of the museums of the world, we're able to see pieces of art that would not be possible to enjoy unless a family loan or gift a piece to a museum. I love Impressionism, and Monet is one of my favorite artists. I was able to enjoy in Paris one of the best exhibits I've seen ever before of Monet, when pieces from museums and private collections were all gathered in that single exposition. It was phenomenal. And Miami has two important expressions of philanthropy with the arts. That's why we have the Perez Art Museum, that the family decided to give all these pieces to the museum. Not only that, the De La Cruz Museum, that is not a charity, it's not a foundation. It's just that the De La Cruz enjoys so much their art at their home that they decided that all the art that they have, instead of having it in a museum or something, they build the place just to show what they have, to educate the community about what they have, and to share the passion. I was lucky enough to be at one of the events that they hold there. And Mr. De La Cruz was talking about the art pieces. It was amazing how he described, he saw an emerging artist and how he started to buy these pieces, and now there's a lot more in value, and he enjoys and is a passion about that. So in terms of financial planning, as I was asked to talk a little bit, one of the things that we can do in terms of philanthropy, maybe we can include in our will a museum, or as a beneficiary in the life insurance policy. We can also establish a donor advice fund where we can give money to an institution and they help us, in the foundation help us to direct to specific non-profit organizations. One very creative is to have a charitable remainder trust. We can actually have one of these pieces, if the family is lucky enough to buy one of these Picassos or Modiglianis at a low cost and wants to sell the piece, you will have a substantial amount of income tax on the capital gains. But if you establish a charitable remainder trust, you can actually gift that piece of art to the trust, have the trust to sell the piece, and then you can enjoy a stream of income over the years, and then you're deferring taxes in an important way. That's one of the benefits that the IRS codes give us. And in terms of gifts to non-profit organizations, we can, of course, give art pieces. And we see a lot, as we said here in Miami, we have samples of it. Actually, there is one that International Solidarity for Human Rights have pieces of art that are actually educating people about human rights. So also you can think about philanthropy, maybe not in art, but as a purpose in life, what the Zuckerbergs just did. And I would like to quote a portion of a letter that the Zuckerbergs wrote to her newborn daughter. It's not about art, but listen what and I quote exactly what the letter says. As you begin the next generation of the Chan Zuckerberg family, we also begin the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative to join people across the world to advance human potential and promote equality for all children in the next generation. Our initial areas of focus will be personalized learning, curing disease, connecting people, and building strong communities. We will give 99% of our Facebook shares, currently about $45 billion, during our lives to advance that mission. That is also philanthropy. I mean, no matter how much you have, if you are giving it with the passion that you can build a better world, that is philanthropy. So what we always say in Philanthropy, all of us have a gift. You have a gift in your life that is unique. If you are an artist, when you find that passion, you start to express yourself, as we see in these art pieces. But also you have another gift that you can share. So find that gift, develop that gift with passion, share it with others, and you might be surprised how much you can achieve and how much you can feel that you have a purpose in your life. Thank you so much.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much.